Hello everybody, this is Allshouse Gaming and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Shadows over Loathing. In the previous episode, we took on a lot of jobs for the mob, while also doing a few other side quests for some people. But now I think it's about time we started focusing on our education, because we kind of need to do that. Now, I looked into it and apparently, this book is worthless, and I'm most likely going to be selling it at a loss. But I also looked into culinary sciences, and apparently you need a fair amount of resistances. So let's equip the colorful clown pants to get +1 in all our resistances. Let's see, as for... elemental armor, none of the above. I just wanted to go broad. Employee of the month, dumb coffee mug. Nah. Let's see. Gonna get some welding gloves for the hat. The only thing we have gives us resistances is the welding mask, so we'll just equip that. The ring. Yeah, I don't think we got anything. No. Boots don't do anything for us. There are also some other things we can do, because apparently in the vector wing... Right? Yeah, vectoring. Let's see. Some mechanically savvy vandals increase the price of soda to an exorbitant 50 meat. You open the back of the machine, fiddle with the little gears and camshafts and such, you've managed to get the price down to 30 meat. It's still way above market value, but what are you going to do? They've got a geographical monopoly. Buy a soda. Now then, the various sodas give you different resistances. +5, actually. Ghost Pepper gives you hot. Ice Soda gives you cold. Bone Soda spooky. Durian Soda stench. And Pork Soda sleaze. We've got resistances for other things already, except for spooky. So I'm gonna hit the bone. You got an item. Bottle of bone soda. The label says it contains 15% real bones. At a certain point, we're going to have to conclude that soda makers are just screwing with us. This does mean I'm losing my soda, or my sporty, which kind of sucks, but eh. Bone chill. If drinking actual bones didn't scare you, what chance does anything else have? Alright, into the barbecue wing and let's take care of culinary science. I go in here, please. Student ID, Talia Hunt, identified. Access to doorway is limited to students and faculty in the culinary science department. That's me. Authorization verified. Access granted. Thanks. You hear a thump as the door's internal lock disengages. Go on in. Professor is staring at you, hopefully. Talk to her. Hello, are you a new culinary arts student? Yep, I picked it as my elective. Great, in that case, what you need to do is pretty simple. What's that? Just use the cooking stations here to prepare a full day's worth of food. Okay, that seems reasonable. I'll need all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, plus an appetizer and dessert. Got it. Please hurry. All the other students left for vacation and I'm absolutely starving. Wait, what? This food is for you? Well, I have to taste it to see if you made it right. Right, but the way you said that sounded like you're relying on this for your actual meals. Look, if someone had been teaching this class and getting stacks of free meals for so long they'd completely forgotten how to cook for themselves, there wouldn't be anything weird about that at all, right? Alright? That would be perfectly understandable. Not that anything like that happened, because a culinary arts teacher who couldn't even boil water anymore would probably not have a job for very long. But you know, theoretically. See what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, I gotcha. In other words, she's forgotten how to cook. Omelet station. You review everything you know about making omelets, and exactly one thing. Unfortunately, you don't have a few eggs, so the knowledge is currently useless to you. Huh. This counter is surrounded by scary floating sandwich parts. Investigate. You choke down your fear and approach the Polter sandwich. If you're going to make a regular sandwich out of this haunted mess, you're going to have to start with some bread. You survey your options. What kind of bread do you want as it flows past? Well, the best I can get is a truculent baguette. Grab the baguette and smack it against the counter until it goes unconscious. Next comes the heart of the sandwich, the meat. Seductive mortadella. Flirt with the mortadella. Did you know that your name means the delicious death in French? The mortadella blushes and giggles as it slowly reclines onto the bread. Now time to choose a cheese. An energetic Gruyere. You study the Gruyere's patterns until you're able to devise a strategy for catching it and binding it to your sandwich. And finally, the most important part of the important decision of the entire sandwich making process. Which condiment will you use? Mayonnaise, obviously. Oh, sorry. The correct answer was mustard. Oh well, this is probably still good enough for a passing grade. Mediocre sandwich. This is a sandwich you made for your culinary science class. Nice. Appetizer. The air around this deep fryer is thick with grease, making breathing an unpleasant experience. Investigate. Deep fry something. Yeah, mushroom steak? You drop your mushroom steak into the deep fryer and watch it sizzle, then fish it back out when it seems done. Deep fried mushroom steak. This is the appetizer you made for your culinary science class. Delicious. See, this oven has been left open and the heat is blasting out. Since you can stand the heat, you don't feel obligated to get out of the kitchen. You approach the oven and discover a fully cooked dish inside. Some other student must have left it here. Grab it. It's a plate of shrimp. That's weird. You were just thinking about a plate of shrimp. Well, that's dinner settled then. That was easy. Perfectly cooked plate of shrimp with Bader Meinhof glaze. Dessert. Cold. Don't have enough cold armor. Elemental, cold. Already got the clown pants equipped. Extra credit. Complex syrup sits on a lab bench here. Simplify it. You take a part of the syrup, divide it by the square root of -1, and then add it back to the rest. Voila! Dwarf simple syrup. This looks like it'll come in handy for mixing drinks at the speakeasy. Oh, yes it will. Alright. Excuse me. Any idea where I can find a few eggs? Under a few birds, I suppose. Any idea where I can find a few birds? There's a pigeon coop on the roof of the SIT's other main wing. I doubt anyone would notice if you swipe a couple eggs from there. How do I get there? Roof access is through the spider wing, which you get to via the scalar wing. Some enterprising student hacked the door lock, so you shouldn't have any trouble getting up there. Okay, thanks. Alright, head for the scalar wing then. Let's see, spider wing. And acoustics, test door, spiders. Here we are, roof access. It's one of those Athena locks on this door, but it seems to have been tampered with. Now, this is also where you come up if you were doing your astrology course. Or astronomy, I should actually say. And you'd also have to come up here to do for your robotics class, if you were doing that. Let's see, close it. This is where the pigeons do all of their business. You pick through the coop's contents and gather a few pigeon eggs. You aren't afraid of pigeons, but you're a little apprehensive about wandering into the middle of a huge crowd of them. Mass of petrified pigeon poop. See how it feels. Feels disgusting. Alright, now we head to the vector wing, because I gotta get some cold resistance. Loud crashing sounds and yelling from a nearby classroom attract your attention and curiosity. You cautiously poke your head in the door and then quickly poke it back out again to dodge a handful of bolts thrown by an angry robot. Several students are cowering behind overturned desks, and you crawl back there to join them as two robots wildly throw junk everywhere. What the heck is going on here? Well, we were wondering if robots could be programmed to have a sense of team spirit, so we split into two teams and made these tennis ball throwing robots, and then set them to dislike each other. It seems to have worked. Yeah, a little too well. We should have taught them sportsmanship first. Deactivate them. Students explain where the robot's shut-off switches are, and you duck, dodge, and dive through a storm of hurled debris, eventually managing to shut them down with only minor bruises. Phew, thanks a lot. Guess it's back to the drawing board. Maybe just stick to drawing, actually. Bottle of iced soda. They sure are doing some avant-garde things with soda flavors these days. Alright, mouth freeze. Your mouth is like a tundra, and like a tundra, the things that live near it don't mind the cold so much. Alright. Back to culinary science. A very cold stone. So cold you can see wisps of vapor curling off it. Investigate. You dig around in the cabinet under the ice-cold slab of marble and find several tubes of ice cream, some miscellaneous toppings, and a bunch of scoops, spatulas, and other equipment. Apparently they are expected to devise some sort of ice cream sundae. Whip up a nice sundae. You garnish a dish of ice cream with a sliced banana, pour on a layer of hot fudge, and top it off with chopped nuts, whipped cream, and maraschino cherry. Perfect pitch traditional ice cream sundae. Now that's now that's a dessert worth screaming about, or at least a loud gasp. I scream, you scream, we all scream for a passing grade in our screaming class. Alright, you butter up a pan, whisk your eggs, and get them sizzling nicely. Now it's time to pick some stuff from the station's frankly intimidating variety of omelet fillings. What do you want to put in first? Let's put in some beef. You sprinkle some beef into the omelet. What's next? Bit of chicken. We had a handful of chicken for good measure. It's almost ready, but it needs one more ingredient. What'll it be? Bacon. A little bit of bacon, a little bacon, a flip of the spatula, and your masterpiece is complete. Behold the perfect beef, chicken, and bacon omelet. Bon appetit. The professor is staring at you hopefully. Hello, you look delicious. Excuse me? Oh, sorry, for a second there I hallucinated that you were a huge talking roast chicken. What do you need? Okay, I did the extra credit assignment. Oh, the syrup? Good job, but it doesn't look like I'll be needing it for today's menu. You can go ahead and keep it. Thanks. Okay, I finished all the cooking. Okay, let's see what you got here. Beef, chicken, and bacon omelet. Interesting choice. Not what I would have picked myself, but I'm intrigued. The sandwich. Ah, you're a mayonnaise girl. Well, I won't hold it against you. It takes all kinds. Screw you. Now, this dinner, let's see. Appetizers, deep-fried mushroom steak. Oh, I haven't seen that one before. Can't wait to try it. And a plate of shrimp scampi, I guess? Looks a bit overdone, but the shrimp is tricky, so I admire your courage. Oh, and this ice cream sundae is a real classic. Nice job. Do I pass? Yes, absolutely. Great job. She reaches into a desk drawer and pulls out a fork for each hand. Now, please leave before you see something you cannot see. I need you to sign my course transcript first. Oh, yes, right. There you go. You've completed your elective. Thanks. Bon appetit. The professor is snoring behind her desk in the midst of the most comprehensive food coma you've ever witnessed. You don't even see the plates anywhere. Alright, well, all that remains is chemicals. This must be SIT's math department. You can tell because there's a bunch of loose math flying around making a ruckus, and I mean a physical ruckus, not the sort of ruckus you get when someone tries to argue that .999 repeating doesn't equal 1. Yell at the math? Hey, you! Math! Get out of here! The math indicates that you have its attention somehow and moves toward you in a menacing way. Oh, you think you frighten me just because I seem like a beef neck? You don't scare me. I've got all your numbers. Go on, get the heck out of here, or I'll factor you down so small they'll have to invent a whole new system of math incorporating discrete fractions of infinitesimals. The math flinches and drifts away sheepishly. That's right. Alright, here's the chemicals department. What's this? Owning the SIT Chemicals Department. You may be interested to know that this entire building is made of solid copper, which the Federal Treasury donated to SIT because they couldn't think of a use for it. This is the perfect sphere carved from Mother Nature's favorite chemical, the rock. Steam-powered lamppost. We truly live in the future. Which reminds me, I should probably change back my clothing. Bronze statue. The plaque reads, in honor of Dr. Ambrose Adams, founder of the Chemicals Department. Sign says, leave a chemical, take a chemical. Make a swap. Oh. Change them out about the whole chemical process. It's a laboratory workbench. Okay. Only 88 of the boxes on the chart have been filled in. Talk to Athena. Athena, can I go in here? Let's see, Chemical Department, that's me. Authorization verified. Access granted. Thanks. Go in. Professor is checking over some really complicated-looking chemical formulas. Formulae? Oh, hello. How can Professor Gilbert to helping you? Is it formulas or formulae? Formulae. Was that the only question to be having? Oh no, I'm also supposed to be taking a class here. Ah, good, yes. Very exciting with a new student to be having. So much chemicals will Professor Gilbert to teaching you. Great, where do I start? The professor digs around in a box under his desk and pulls out a large lump of yellow crystals. Here to looking at it. To knowing which element that is, are you? Well, from the color, I'm guessing sulfur. Haha! Yes, you two knowing a thing already. It's good. Thanks. Sulfur is a diamagnetic, or it's a crystal to being. Also, multivalent, and an elemental macronutrient. Should I be writing this down? Here, an experiment to do doing with it. Chunk of sulfur. This size chunk of sulfur. It's yellow and crumbly and smells like rotten eggs, and you're annoyed with the guy who's carrying it around. An experiment to throwing it in the river and coming back with telling me to observation. Back to... Okay, got it, I think. You sure hope there won't be a test on any of this, because you don't understand any of it. Books must be pretty ancient. Pages are made of vellum. Flip through it. The book is a guide to complete and practical guides. A complete and practical guide to the various alchemical substances and their properties for the use of students in the classroom setting. Unfortunately, the pages are so old and stiff that you can't even turn them. Well, shucks. You don't want what any of this equipment is for. Looks old, though. Alright, well, to the bridge. Ah, more of those shadow creatures. Banish them. You call upon the powers of light and life and the Bell Telephone Company. Don't know what he has to do with any of this. Sending the energy through your ring as a blast of white light that annihilates the shadowy telephone booth vandals. Oh, right, because it's a telephone booth. It's a ladder blocked by some complicated municipal contraption. It's a fishing rod leaning against the railing. Maybe it was left here because something was wrong with it. Take it. Cursed fishing rod. There's definitely something wrong with it. Black says, SIT Chemical Department Dump Zone. Drop in the sulfur. You drop the sulfur and watch carefully. The yellow lump hits the surface of the water with a plop and sinks. Nothing else seems to happen. Noted. Walking down a hallway in the SIC's math department. That's a chalkboard with a bunch of complicated math scribbled on it. With a circle drawn around it, that and the note, do not erase. Feeling waggish and rebellious, you just erase the circle. Unfortunately, it turns out the circle was keeping the math on the chalkboard and it all flies off to attack you. Solve the equations. Then quickly rearrange, reduce, and resolve the equations down to a single zero, which makes it wink out of existence. Calculator. Ugh. Hi, hello. To going your experiment. How is it? I dropped the sulfur in the river. Yes, good. And what did it? Well, not much really. It got wet and sank. Haha, yes, sulfur has a density about twice as much of water and non-reactive to being with a normal circumstance. They look at the box again and pull out a lump of metal with a structure of weird spiraling squares and an iridescent rainbow sheen. How about that? To knowing what this are? Bibsmoth? Close. Bismuth. Ah, right. This one is a rhombohedral structure of crystal and is the most diamagnetic of all to being. Also, it is very much less poisonous than the other ones like it. It's very pretty. Colors... That colors from thickness variation in the oxide layer. Being. Here. Go in the river to putting it. Chunk of crystalline bismuth is really pretty. It's a shame to just throw it into a river, but I suppose science requires sacrifice. Alright, fine. See, empty classroom, blackboard covering complex physics equations. Punch them up. You rewrite the equations to make them a little bit funnier. You drop the bismuth into the river. It goes kaplunk and sinks quite rapidly. Right. Do you find a discarded gym bag on the sidewalk? Check it out. Powerful grit, yada yada. Repeats. I dropped the bismuth in the river. Yes, yes, and, well, it sank faster than the sulfur. Correct bismuth nearly to sulfur 5 times the density to having. Anything other? Not that I noticed. Yes, bismuth only when very hot in water to reacting. Good job. Thanks. Looks in the box again, this time holds a lump of silvery gray metal. That's, haha. Do not to worry. Professor Gilbert not to guessing you this one. Practically everything a silver gray metal to being. Whew. This is to being magnesium. And another one's unlike. This paramagnetic one. With hexagonal crystals close to packed, also there is so much of it. 13% of this world planet is that to making of. Huh. Now you have it. Junk and magnesium. This looks like a rock, but a science guy has assured you that it is in fact an interesting chemical. This one goes in the river too? Yes, yes, to watch it closely. See your registering opportunity. Yep. Get some meat. Drop the magnesium and watch it closely as it sinks. It doesn't seem to go as quickly as the bismuth did. That's about it. Let's see. As you're walking down the hallways of one of SIT's many and various science buildings, the lab door suddenly bursts open. A wild-eyed, lab-coated man runs out with 2 large fizzing test tubes in his head. In his hands. Refuse my tenure, will they? Those fools! I'll destroy them all! Don't try to stop me. Stop you from doing what exactly? I created the perfect monster formula. All I have to do is mix these 2 chemicals and an unstoppable legion of beasts will devour this entire building and everyone in it. Show them true perfection. Ha! Chemical monsters? You think that's strength? You think that's power? Well, yes. Can your monsters do this? Can your monsters do this? You strike a series of muscle poses showing off your finely honed physique. A single odd tear rolls down the scientist's face. You're right. I've been a fool. No accelerated growth slime mold could possibly overcome the majesty of the human machine. I hereby renounce my experiments and rededicate my life to the refinement of anabolic steroids. Attaboy, Doc. Ah, yes, back when steroids weren't frowned upon. Or were they? Who knows? Anyways, I've got a lot of XP to work with. May as well get some things. Shredded abs, somebody could throw an entire 6-pack of beer at your washboard stomach and you wouldn't even feel it. +3 physical armor and +1 muscle. Yeah, why not? And I'm 4 XP shy of being able to get overconfidence. But I think that's probably what I'm going to want to go for next. I could go for the ripped triceps to get +3 melee weapon attacks, but I don't think I really need that right now. Hi, hello. To go on your experiment, how is it? I dropped magnesium in the river. Good, yes, and so? Seems to be about as dense as sulfur. True, yes. Less slightly, but close. Are you two learning so much to draw a conclusion? My conclusion is that you basically tricked me into throwing away a bunch of trash for you. Haha, this is astute. What? Time for next lesson of you. I'm not throwing anything else into the river. No, a box is empty. Next lesson, we'll figuring out how to complex chemical to producing. Oh, okay, that sounds interesting. Good, yes, a mind of inquiring scientific is very important to having. The equipment over there, are you seeing it? Yeah, looks really antiquated. Yes, back to basic. Not just some chemical, but all chemical. That's a pretty good pun. Haha, what? Anyway, go to figuring those out and chrome polish to synthesizing. Chrome polish, got it. So, this seems more complicated, but once you have figured it out, well, it's not too difficult. There are 4 hoppers, each of which has a weird symbol on it. First 2 hoppers are reasonably full, but the 3rd and 4th hoppers are empty. Okay, you got a couple elements to work with here. What do you want to start with? So, there are 4 chemicals you have to introduce into this. The first 2 and the second 2, however, are something you don't really need to worry about. Well, let me rephrase that. You don't have to worry about them in combination. The first one is the material you want to work with. That's the first 2. The second 2 are what you want it to do. There are 4 hoppers, each of which has a weird symbol on it. The first 2 hoppers are reasonably full, but the 3rd and the 4th hoppers are empty. You got a couple elements to work with. What do you want to start with? So, if you do a 1-1, you get bologna as your material. 1-2, umbraline. 2-1, vellum. 2-2, asbestos. As for the effect, 1-1 is bleaching, 1-2 is softening, 2-1 is straightening, 2-2 is purifying. Now then, if you recall, the book is made of vellum, but they're so stiff and hard, so we need softening. So, we do second hopper, first hopper, that's vellum. Then we want it softened, so we do first hopper and second hopper. You decant the mixture into a vial and run some tests on various sample materials at the workbench. It appears you made some sort of vellum softening juice. Oh hey, maybe you can use that to fix the old book. That old book. Keep it. Vial of vellum softener. Flip through it. Use the vellum softener. You carefully drizzle the vellum softener on the book, rendering its pages as soft and supple as the day they were born. I mean, bound. Read it. Someone's left a bookmark at a list of various alchemical symbols and various substances. They represent that third hopper is supposed to contain arsenic. It turns out. You can't find the fourth symbol in here anywhere, though. Okay. Alright. Hello. Hi, hello. To go on your experiment, how is it? Any idea where I can find some arsenic? Oh no, are we arsenic to having out of? Yeah, the hopper is empty. Well, that is not to doing. Professor Gilbert will of our records to checking a moment. Pull out a binder labeled Very Poisons log and flip to the back. Aha! Is that Cratchels again. What now? Melvin Cratchels, a student, very much arsenic fan. Of some reason. Maybe if he had any left is having, you are to going and asking. His address here, it is Hilbert House, room 3A. Hilbert House? Where's that? It will be better, Professor Gilbert, just to marking it on your map. Alrighty then. Never went to this place before, but hey. Some chocolates are having a party in here. You weren't invited. Let's see. All the drawers of this desk are missing except one which is jammed shut. Forced open. Got a match, paperclip, and a match. Meh. Let's see. Door of the mini fridge is stuck shut. Yank it open. Bottle of ghost pepper soda. Huh. Let's see, there's a wallet stuck behind the nightstand. Hard to reach without moving the nightstand, which you refuse to do for some reason. Snag it. Let's see, 1D. Uh-huh. Not interested in fighting these things. Check the drawer. It's empty, which is, you suppose, also a certain kind of elegance. College kids sure do have interesting taste in art. Take this poster. Let's see, hang it up in your room. One of those weird Dada posters from the Hilbert House dorm rooms. Let's see, the desk has an unfinished word find puzzle on it. Solve it. You'll find the last two words, experiencing and points. Okay, overconfidence. Wait, I wonder, could we have taken that one poster? Take it. Oh, wait. See the outline of book under the blanket, which is apparently made of depleted uranium. Pull it off. Advanced Vascular Anatomy. Grants a plus max HP perk. Wait, don't I already have something like that? Blood lore. Increases your maximum HP, yeah. Book full of diagrams of veins and arteries and a third kind of blood vessel you didn't even know about until now. It's complicated. It's gonna take some blood, sweat, and tears to get through it. Alright. Now that I know that I can take this stuff, may as well. Wait. Okay, no comment on the stuff that was behind the poster. Let's see. Stink is filled with a nasty smelling murky liquid. Reach in. Roll of duct tape. Add +3 physical armor to a hat. That is slightly askew. Look under it. 0 teeth and non-zero amount of meat. Okay, word find puzzle, experience points. You can tell without even without opening it that there is something extremely nasty brewing in this fridge. Nasty old leftovers. It is, as you suspected, something extremely nasty. I mean, I'm going to be going through all of this. Lots of chemicals equipment, almost all of it ruined. You open the fridge and find that it was storing stale air. Gross, just gross. Hey, jar of arsenic. Oh, good. There's a whole jar of arsenic left in Belvin's nightstand. At least you assume this is Belvin's room and not some other chemicals student who is super into arsenic for some reason. Alright, well, we got that. But here's the thing. We're out of time for this episode. So, if you guys like what you see, please leave a like, subscribe for future content. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notifications for when I upload. And please, leave a comment down below this video. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.